G'day, you're watching The Reader at Down Under Tarot, coming to you from the wide brown land. And today I have a Zoom reading with Shenoa. Hey Shenoa, how are you going today?
I'm good.
Okay, can you tell us a little about yourself and where you're calling in from?
I am from Louisiana. I'm in the northern half. Currently, I'm really just trying to look for a different line of work. So I'm really
Mhm.
interested in career choices for me.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Um, okay, so basically I'm pretty much happy to read for anything. And my readings have a focus on giving querents a new perspective on their situation and the things they might consider moving forward. Now, because we live in a very litigious world, I need to give the hashtag standard disclaimer. Viewers, while I do believe the tarot can reveal insights into what may come to pass and give us new perspectives on our situation, fortune telling is actually illegal in many parts of the world. In truth, I'm just a middle-aged bloke at an undisclosed location somewhere in the opal-hearted country, telling stories based on the things I see in the illustrations on 78 small pieces of cardboard. If you conclude that I'm a dead set legend, that everything I say is 100% fair income, and that you will absolutely do what I say the cards suggest without exercising your own judgment, well, that's on you. Today, I'll be using my good old yellow box Rider-Waite tarot deck that I got over 20 years ago. If you're a complete noob, this deck was developed by Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith in 1909. Its images are the inspiration for many of the decks that have come since. So for this reading, I'll be laying out 3 to 5 cards in a row and looking to see the story. If they tell a story with regard to Shenoa's question, I'll add clarifying cards for each of these as needed. So with that out of the way, Shenoa, can you give us a bit of a background as to why you've come to my tarot table today?
Well, I was just interested in going towards someone who could give me a bit of insight on where I could go as far as careers go. And I saw some of your other work and I liked it. I liked the energy and I felt like I could get something from doing this with you.
Yeah, that's great. Can you tell me a bit about your employment background then?
Mainly as far as my employment background, it's just been retail, nothing that required any like degrees or anything. I think I
Mhm.
even did a stint at a post office even, but yeah, nothing beyond that.
Okay, great. And have you got any ideas about where you might like to go in your career?
Uh, Mainly, I would really like working with people. Like, I enjoy people, like the interaction process.
Mhm.
So yeah, anything where I'm still face to face with people.
Okay, that sounds great. So, zippy George. So, just shuffling the cards on camera, so I'm not being bogus. Okay, what can I say about Shenoa's career? Sun, got 2 of Wands. We've got the Ace of Swords. And finally, we've got Strength there. Okay. So looking at these cards, I think the first card, the Sun, is telling you that now is certainly the time to start looking around for career possibilities. It's important that you're as bright as the sun. So make sure that you present yourself in absolutely the best light in terms of the places you're applying for jobs. So it's pretty general advice, I guess, but it's what the card suggests here. Secondly, we have the 2 of Wands. Now, this shows a person holding one stick in his hand. The other stick is still bolted to the wall. And he's looking at a globe with the horizon as a backdrop around him. Generally, this card tends to mean it's time to look further afield, to take your plans further away. At the moment, I think you might be feeling a bit stuck in one particular location or one particular type of career. It's time to unbolt that stick and take your energy and go off looking for other places. Now, the world may mean that you need to look further afield, like the next town over, or maybe even going into state if you need to. But basically, it's time to get cracking. The Ace of Swords tends to be a card that illuminates a new idea. We've got a sword piercing the crown. Now, the crown can represent the head, and the sword means taking a new approach to the things that you're thinking about. So I guess it's time to think positively and to think decisively about what you're going to do and get cracking on it. It's about conviction and getting on with it. Strength is often a card that refers to your inner demons in a way. Now, you may be thinking this, oh, I don't have the qualifications necessary to get a particular job, or it may mean that there are other things that are holding you back and stopping you from doing the things that you need to do to get that next job. So you need to control that. You need to close that lion's mouth and put it behind you so that the confident person who's capable of closing that lion's mouth can decide what they need to do and get on with it, because now is the time to get on with it. Do any of those cards need clarification, do you think?
No, I feel like the message is pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How does the message resonate with you?
A lot of, now's the time to take action and move
Mm-hmm.
on it. And it's definitely suggesting that I aim a bit higher and not keep my eyes so firmly fixated on what I think is available and look maybe beyond what I have already.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's draw a clarifying card to look at some of the things that might be good ideas here for you. So I'll just shuffle the cards again. Okay. First clarifying card we've got is the King of Wands. Now, this often is related to action-based leadership. So it might be a case that you need to think somewhat about a slightly higher up role rather than working just on the floor kind of thing. And that again requires the confidence that's talked about. Another thing you might want to consider, I'll just draw another one. Is the Seven of Swords. That's interesting because that's a card of deceit and sneaking off with things. So maybe this card is suggesting that to get one of these slightly higher up jobs, you might need to stretch the truth a little about what it is that you've done before so that you can get that slightly higher up job, which you might feel or might not feel that you're capable of, and that will help you going forwards. What do you think of that?
I definitely agree.
Uh-huh. Do you think you can pull something like that off?
Yeah, I might have to write a few extra what do you say, the things on like the resume. I might have to
Mm-hmm.
fudge a few things,
Yep.
possibly.
Okay. As long as you know it's something that you can definitely get away with. Like you probably don't
Yeah.
want to get too overboard because the person in this card, he's sneaking off with 5 of the swords, but he's also left 2 of the swords behind. So I guess that's a case of take what you can get away with, but don't try to overreach yourself, because if you try to pick up those extra 2 swords, you might drop them on the way and then the game is up.
Yeah, I'll try to not write a whole degree in that I don't have.
Yeah, that would probably not be wise, but I mean, it'd be okay, I think. And again, with my hashtag standard disclaimer, I'm just telling stories here. It might be something to do, you might say that you had a particular job in another state or something like that, or in another town where you might have actually acted up as a supervisor when that person was on leave or something like that. Those are the sorts of things I think you might be able to get away with to be getting a kind of leadership role if that's what you want. What do you reckon?
I think I will look into a higher position role and
Yeah, it's actually kind of talking about a lot of stuff
Uh-huh.
that definitely resonates with things I went through.
Okay. Well, that's great. So, Shenoa, how do you think that reading went for you?
I think it went really well. I ended up learning about a few bullet points that I really need to review.
And do you think the advice was sort of like reasonable or a bit outlandish?
I think it was extremely reasonable, actually. Like almost makes me, well, it's like kind of a skin tingling almost how well it fit to my situation and even my prior events.
Okay, that's great. So, viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this video and that you'll honor me with a subscription and tell me how wonderful I am in the comments below. If you'd like a reading yourself, either privately or for posting here, please contact me at downundertarot@gmail.com to discuss the terms and conditions. I've been the reader at Down Under Tarot, now signing off from the land of rugged mountain ranges of droughts and flooding rain. Copulata.